Welcome back to the harbor. I'm your host, the Kino Cowboy. I'm with my co-host Scott Keith, Austin Casher. Today, we're doing Casher's pick, Bloodsport, directed by Newt Arnold. Which, if you haven't heard of him, that's probably because this is his main movie that he's done. Now, this has been a long time coming. Casher's wanted to do this one for a while. How did you come to this movie, Casher? Why did you pick it?
My dad showed me this. It's another one of the Kenny Casher repertoire of shitty 80s films that he showed me. Some of them aren't shitty. I don't think any of them are shitty, but, some people might consider this not a Kino film when
There's an
it's,
allure to these kinds of movies.
There, no, there's
I
definitely an allure.
love
I watched
it.
this with my dad last night, and we enjoyed it. We did some thinking on it.
This
Um,
brought me into my love of tournament sagas and fucking everything.
so this turned you into a weeb.
Kinda. 'Cause,
Oh, well, I
no,
hate you for
like
this.
I get so into tournament sagas, and this is the epitome of tournament sagas.
What are
Let's
your
get
top
one
five tournament sagas?
Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball, and Yu Yu Hakusho and Bloodsport.
Okay, all original Dragon Ball,
Yeah,
Yu Yu Hakusho, Dark Tournament, Yu Yu Hakusho.
Dark Tournament's so good.
This is good. Good
But
shit.
no, this takes that whole. This is like the start or like add to of let's make a tournament. Let's make the main guy white, and let's make everybody else a stereotype.
Yeah,
It's
it's
fucking awesome.
it's like Street Fighter 2 levels of stereotyping,
It's yeah,
which is why he was in Street Fighter 2.
yeah.
It's an American, this Guile. They always put him. At least here, they like acknowledge that he's an immigrant.
Yeah.
Um,
It's because he has that heavy accent still.
yeah, and they can't. Um, like the only other Jean-Claude Van Damme movie I finished because it's always something that's on TV, and I'm like, this is garbage, and I change the
I
channel.
love Van Damme so much, dude.
It's Van Damme. As a person and as an entertainer.
Van Damme is my Marlon Brando.
I don't know. I saw one. I don't even know what it was. It was after. I think it was post Bloodsport, but one film where he vaults over a table and there's like four shots. It's like that much maligned scene in Taken 3 where he jumps over the fence, and it's not that bad, but like you're supposed to be this martial arts expert, and then you need four shots to get you leaping over a table. I'm like, I don't know if that's your fault or just the filmmaking is shoddy, or you just can't jump over a table even though you're a martial arts expert. He's a
Uh
ridiculous guy.
yeah, dude, I can't wait to start showing my girlfriend's kid Van Damme films.
Oh, dude, you're gonna turn him into a weeb,
Way
dude.
too young.
See,
She
here's
has
the thing. In
fears of
Arkansas,
that.
all of our educators are trying to ban like trans books and shit from the libraries. They should ban manga so that we don't have furries and weebs.
Yeah, I never grew up with Van Damme stuff.
uh,
I always pivoted more towards like Jackie Chan, Arnold Schwarzenegger, stuff like that, you know. But
Yeah, me too.
no, we were a household full of shitty action films, dude. It was Stallone, Judge Dredd, and fucking Bloodsport and Cyborg, and then the fucking anything that just was like mediocre. My dad somehow
I've seen
fucking loved.
Universal Soldier 3, which is a weirdly it's like they made the first two Universal Soldiers, which were schlock, and then they like years later, like 2008 and early 2010s, they're like, hey, what if we made like backdoor gritty reboots that are weirdly introspective? And then I'm watching this and I'm like, a when Jean-Claude Van Damme is in the movie, Dolph Lundgren sounds like Orson Welles by comparison in terms of acting ability.
yeah.
And and
I don't like how you're talking about my boy here,
I like
man.
Dolph.
Jean-Claude Van
And
Damme is
the
fucking.
and then I'm also like, why is this movie has some of the best action choreography I've seen in the past few years? It's like, despite being like a straight to DVD,
Huh.
like
Oh yeah.
Dude, I will
there
say
was this
this.
era of in the 2010s of straight to DVD movies where they would get like random MMA fighters to be them as the villain and stuff.
Oh yeah,
They
dude.
and they would just get directors who were really good at directing action specifically and just do that. And like there's actually some, I'm not saying the movies as a whole are great, but like the actual choreography and everything. Because I don't know, action movies are crapped on, but like
What's that prison tournament fight movie? It's got that cool black guy that knows martial arts.
Enter the Dragon. That's all I keep.
No.
You keep saying like this movie is like, what if Enter the Dragon was a white guy? Like that's what this movie is.
Well, it's like there's so many like badass straight to DVD, stupid ass action
Yeah, I
films.
like that you're asking me like, what's that random straight to DVD?
Dude, I can't remember his
movie?
fucking name. He's like a famous African American fucking martial artist. And those movies are
Michael J. White.
badass. I think it is Michael J. White. He's in like a prison breakout tournament film where like they're like,
Okay.
oh, to win your freedom, you've got to fight in this tournament, and there's no
Is it
holds
Black? Is it
barred.
Black Dynamite? That one's pretty good.
I
like
will
that.
say the best part about this film is that it's based off a true story.
Okay, it's based off what a guy says was a true story.
Well, that's what I was wondering. After watching the movie, I was like, wait a minute, because it pops up at the end, like based on this real guy. I'm like, wait a second. I look into the guy and I'm like, okay, so he claims that he won this secret tournament
that nobody else knows about.
It's
Yeah,
like Steven Seagal if he was 10 times worse and smoked a lot of cigarettes.
No, Steven Seagal is a naturalized citizen of Russia because he's such good friends with Putin. One of my favorite photos from human history is fat Steven Seagal trying to like cover his fatness with like fake kimono robes he got from TJ Maxx or whatever, giving a ceremonial katana to Nicolas Maduro, the dictator of Venezuela.
So sick.
And it's during COVID, and Maduro has a like mask on, and Seagal's like, "I'm invincible."
Just a pivot real quick. Did you guys ever see that Steven Seagal show where he's like a reality show? He's basically given the rights to arrest people.
I know
as a
what you're
cop.
talking about.
It's just like him. It's cops, but Steven Seagal. It's really, really fucking
that
good.
sounds fucking terrible.
I'm glad you're back, Casher.
That's fucking yeah, because it was like the articles I looked at said, well, this real guy, the Kumite thing, can't technically be confirmed despite saying he won it in 1975.
Well, that's how it is, dude. You don't talk about Fight Club, goddammit.
That's why it's so secretive in the movie. Yeah, who's to say
Yeah.
what happened?
Although it seems like everybody in Hong Kong knows about it except for the journalist lady who could be removed from the movie and nothing would change.
Yeah, but then we don't have nice tits to look at.
We have Jean-Claude Van Damme's ass in that one shot. That's the greatest ass in cinema.
That's
Dude,
America's
his ass in this movie is like it's beautiful. I can't even front. It is like I was watching with my dad, who's a journalist, and we were talking about journalistic ethics, and he was like, "That's not ethical." I'm like, "Yeah, but 28-year-old Jean-Claude Van Damme ass. That's that guy's got gluteus maximus, bro."
Another thing that ties into childhood schlock my dad let me watch when I was way too young, Revenge of the Nerds. I don't know if you guys have seen that.
Yeah,
I
I've seen
know
that.
a bit.
With the buddy that fucking Jean-Claude Van Damme makes, the big guy. He's the only other thing I've ever seen him in is that film, and he plays Ogre.
That is the same guy who goes, "Nerd." It's that guy.
Yeah, a little bit more fleshed out of a character in this one. I do think
In this one, he has more fleshed out.
Yeah, dude, Ogre in the other one is just like a vindictive drunk bastard. Like just
No,
wants
he's
to
the
beat
same
the shit
character.
Yeah, but he only says is nerds. Like, he doesn't really say anything.
Because this is the most like, and no offense to Donald Gibb as Ray Jackson, but like this is some of the most paper thin characterization of any movie I've ever seen.
He's got some of the best acting in this movie too, which is my favorite part.
Who the big guy?
But yeah, dude, like 10 times better than like everybody else.
Yeah, he's a little bit better than a lot of the other people.
I mean, yeah, it's he can speak English.
He's like, pick a
that's the
brick,
thing.
and then he doesn't destroy the brick with the whatever, the DMOC or whatever, and then he grabs the brick and he's just like, but I can do this, and like crushes it over his head.
The whole time I was watching this
Perfect
movie, I'm like,
acting.
Casher likes this movie because he identifies with this big drunk guy
Yeah,
who's following everyone and crashes into things.
No, it was when you see Frank doing the splits at the top of that shrine overlooking the city. That's what I was like, yeah, I see. This is why Casher is stuck with him so long.
It's pretty awesome. I would say,
Awesome.
like, what would Jean-Claude Van Damme's career be if he couldn't do the splits? It was
Dude,
like
nothing. He literally
it's
made
like
a. There's a Johnny Cage move that still spoofs this fucking movie. He still has the nut puncher. Like that is one of the most great fucking martial arts moves in the entirety of film. Is
Jean-Claude Van Damme acts himself basically as a skin in the new Mortal Kombat that you can select when doing Johnny Cage.
no shit.
Johnny Cage, who is voiced off of which now I feel like I gotta watch the Mortal Kombat movie, the original one.
I
Which
love him.
I enjoy that movie.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous,
Dude,
but
I like two a lot too because they have fucking Sector and Cyrax.
I didn't see two because I heard
It's so bad.
and I saw clips being like the worst dialogue ever, and I'm like, yeah,
It's so good.
I'd never seen this movie. So when I turned it on and the Canon film logo came up, I was like, okay, I know what this is now. Because people
What
at
do you-
home, if you don't know what Canon is a very famous film production that was in the 60s, but mostly from the 70s and 80s. That was like they pivoted in the late 70s to where they were going to focus on doing B movies because they realized there was a big B movie market and it exploded. They were doing so many movies, but that's like Canon did like they bought the rights to Death Wish, and so they made all the Death Wish sequels.
So fucking good.
And then they made like all those 80s Chuck Norris movies like Delta Force,
Delta
Invasion
Force is
USA.
another one that I really love.
They did ninja movies. They did that movie Cobra with Stallone, which is kind of funny. I kind of like that movie. Break In 2, Electric Boogaloo, Life Force. Life Force is the craziest. Like that movie's like a woman is walking around nude for half the movie. It's like, yeah,
So sign me up, dude.
I know why Life Force was popular, but there's like the ones I'm naming are like the good ones. But as soon as saw that Canon logo, I was like, okay, I'm in for like some weird wonky ADR and some really interesting fights because that's what a Canon movie is.
You also get some of the best music in action film
Yeah,
history.
dude, that one
Kumite.
pop song that plays, I was like, yeah,
Made directly for the film, the Kumite song.
yeah.
Started
yeah,
playing
when
that
they're
at
saying
work the other day.
Kumite in the lyrics, I'm like, okay, this is taking me out of the movie.
It was kind of like it reminded me, it basically, it was like they watched Rocky 4 and they're like, we need our own theme, like Hearts on Fire, but like our own version. So it worked for me though, but it's like, I expected the ADR because I knew what kind of movie I was getting into, but like the funniest ADR is when it's Frank as a kid and he's trying to imitate Jean-Claude Van Damme. It sounds so fucked.
You're not gonna call the cops?
Not if we make a deal.
What kind of a deal?
Dude, it is like we need to find a kid who's as shitty of an actor as Van Damme.
He's so bad, like broken, like the worst fucking accent. Yeah, it's fucking
Dude, and that kid grew up and directed The Room.
Yeah, that's what
Wait,
that's what I was
what?
thinking.
No, I'm joking.
Oh, I was tripping. I'm like, sorry. It's been a weird morning.
That does make me think like, is Tommy Wiseau Belgian? Like, does he have, because he has similar
I think he's
accent.
Polish.
Okay.
I think
And-
Tommy Wiseau is from the center of the fucking earth.
Yeah,
Right
maybe
through the
so.
crust.
No, Jean-Claude Van Damme is if Tommy Wiseau worked out.
You're giving
Now-
Tommy Wiseau too much credit, dude. Jean-Claude Van Damme is a national treasure.
I like they give him backstory enough, I guess. Like
Why is this white guy working with the Sensei Tanaka?
like he comes into a window with other kids, and like all the other kids run away, but he just like stands there like a moron because it's like,
I was
well,
gonna say, do you guys think he's a little slow,
maybe because he just
Ugh.
stands there like an idiot.
but somehow clever when he
Casher-
grows
I
up?
mean, Scott, you're muted. So anyway, he just stands there like a moron. I'm like, why don't you just jump out the window, dude? But
Sensei
obviously,
Tanaka, I'd like to learn. Well, you're white. We get to hear the term round eye again, which is awesome.
it's like not even sure. Like how well he knows this guy before he jumps in.
Yeah.
To get before the guy comes in, which is Lao She from Temple of Doom, I noticed. And,
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's who
Yeah.
it is. That's where I've seen him.
Yeah, there's
Um,
he's a real person too, apparently. No records of Sensei Tanaka, and a lot of martial arts masters dispute it, but Franklin Dukes will he'll fight you if you say he's fake.
Okay. I mean, he's about as real as Lao She from Temple of Doom as well.
Have you ever seen Lao She and Sensei Tanaka in the same room? Rest my point.
I don't know. My dad was saying with that kid casting, by the way, he was like, it's like they just found an autistic kid from down the street.
God damn, David.
No, I didn't prompt him. No, he's really on board with it. I do think he's. First of all, are they? Because this looks like, is it shot in L.A. where they are? Because he's wearing a Giants shirt.
Seems like
it's got to be L.A.
Yes, but he's wearing a New York Giants shirt. So I'm already like, he's bad at being American because he's like wearing American merch, but doesn't know. It's like if I wore a Barca shirt in Madrid and they would like kick my ass or something. I don't know.
Do you think that Beverly Hills Cop is taking place at the same time as Bloodsport, and like he's fighting the Kumite while Eddie Murphy is trying to subdue criminals?
Yeah,
Sure.
kind of like that late '80s LA look. I love that shit.
Dude. In every single film, it always looks the same. I love it.
They when he trains under him, at first to the writer's credit, at first I was like, okay, yeah, this just reads like a bunch of like mumbo jumbo that white guys made. Like, okay, well, he's got to train, so he's got to catch a fish out of the pond. Also, he has to serve tea blindfolded. But to their credit, it ends up being useful later on. But it still feels like, yeah, we're white guys. What do you need to do to train to be badass?
I was waiting for Tanaka to be like, yes, young grasshopper.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, some fucking Mystic Orient shit.
Oh, that's great. But, he can do the splits, and he does splits with. There's some weird BDSM kink in this with that rope scene where he's suspending Jean-Claude Van Damme by the ropes, and he's groaning. He's like, and
I was expecting Tanaka to get like a little feather out and tickle his feet.
Yeah, dude. Oh, if that happened, I would have to hide my boner from my dad when I watch it.
If that happens, I'm masturbating with my dad.
Yeah, I'm like, all right, Dad, you have to suck me off again.
Eye contact this time, David.
When he started doing all this like shit, I was like, who wrote this? Because I was like, there's no way anyone Asian wrote this movie. And the guy who wrote it, Sheldon Lettich, he's like a writer of like various schlock, like Rambo
Sheldon,
3.
and his name is Sheldon.
Double Impact, Ruskies, Rambo 3, stuff like that.
Double Impact kind of fucks, dude. I like that movie.
Yeah, is that what is Van Damme's most successful movie?
I think it's this one.
This one, Double Impact's pretty big.
I don't know what else it would be.
Street Fighter, I guess.
That didn't do great though.
I don't know.
Universal Soldier,
The Expendables.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, but he was only in Expendables because he was famous for other shit.
Right.
Yeah, but then that made him more famous.
It brought him to a new generation. I know what you're saying.
I don't know. The Van Damme. I've seen a ton of fucking Van Damme shit.
Yeah. I mean, Bloodsport's probably good. Kickboxer.
Cyborg's good.
Yeah, Time Cop.
Time Cop fucking rules.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then it goes. And
I
then
have Cyborg downloaded.
Cyborg's fun.
Kung Fu Panda 3. God, that's even worse. I didn't know he was in that. It's like, hey, Van Damme, you know how you're a terrible actor with a weird accent you can never get over, but you look good on camera because you can do karate? Let's just use your voice. Let's get rid of all you can't do the splits or anything.
Yes, Poe, we can eat as many dumplings as you like. That's my impression.
Is that your Asian? I do feel like at the very beginning, the first scene, I think, where we hear Jean-Claude Van Damme say some words, he probably has 100 words in this whole movie, if that. We hear him talking to Tanaka, and it's almost like it's like an American actor doing a Belgian accent, doing a Japanese accent. It's the strangest mix.
It's fucking gnarly.
It's like he's code switching. It's like if you hang out It's like if I hang out with rednecks too long, my southern accent gets stronger. It's like that.
Yeah, I was wondering at first. I was like, did they overdub him with some Japanese guy for a second? But no, it's just like a weird kind of thing.
I think that's just how I like to think that's how Jean-Claude Van Damme talks to all Asians in real life.
That's kinda like- I'm telling you, dude, he's like a less controversial Steven Seagal.
Yeah, because he's not a fucking Putin crony.
Yeah.
He's not friends with Vladimir Putin.
I will say this: it does have one of like my favorite villains of all time, Chong Li.
Yeah, Chong Li from the J.K. Rowling School of Ethnic Names. Chong Li, also a name clearly written by a white guy. You don't know what we're talking to. The one Asian character in Harry Potter is Cho Chang, and they have a black professor named Kingsley Shacklebolt. So
he's not a professor, but yeah.
And I don't know, whatever.
He's an auror.
He's an auror, a wizard.
Yeah, he's like
whatever.
a diplomat.
Yeah, okay. Well,
He's gay.
Okay.
I don't know if he's gay. But
man.
Bolo Yeung, I feel like nowadays, still respected in like the martial arts community, but I feel like he hits so many Comic Cons now. I always see like Chong Li at fucking every Comic Con. It feels like.
I mean, what else would he be doing?
Well, I mean, Ogre's not hitting every fucking Comic Con, or I'd be at every fucking Comic Con, dude. I want to be friends with that dude so bad. But there's the whole concept of like this badass Japanese, whatever. Is he? He's Japanese in this, isn't he? He has like the Japanese.
Yeah, I
flag.
think so. Yeah.
Because there are Chinese fighters too.
Yeah, because they're in Hong Kong.
mean-
Everything Asian in this movie is just Asian. Even the guy named Hussein looks like he's played by an East Asian, and not.
It looked like a guy they dipped in fucking brown paint.
Yeah.
It's
like they got a Thai guy, and then are like not brown enough to be Middle Eastern.
But like they stuck to stereotypes for each one. Like Hussein has a big turban and a gold tooth. And they had one of the African fighters fight monkey martial arts, which is fucked up.
He was rolling like it was a Dark Souls game. He was like he was rolling around on it, seriously. And out of context, this is going to sound racist if for some reason you haven't seen the movie. But watching the movie, it's seriously like the choreographers were like, "How would the Shaka Zulus fight?" That's what it felt like the filmmakers were doing, because they were like jumping around, all like.
Well, like
wrong the jungle. It's
the opening for like getting that fighter and showing him is like everybody's like doing like, oh, we're breaking boards, like we're hitting like punching bags. This guy's in a tree smashing coconuts with his hand.
Yeah,
like what the fuck,
dude! I halfway expected him to get a spear out in the middle of it. I was like, it would not have surprised me.
The only thing that disappoints me is that we didn't get a Brazilian guy doing capoeira. So he could just be like Brazil and fucking fuck everybody up.
What I thought was interesting about this movie is the whole concept is like it's a giant mixed martial arts tournament, and now we have actual MMA. Like,
dude. Well, that's how like the old school UFC people wouldn't come out in just like trunks and short. You'd have people coming out in like gis and like their traditional garbs of like their country and stuff. So look, I'm pretty sure the guy who created UFC was like, Bloodsport was pretty cool. We should make real Bloodsport.
Dana White, even during COVID. He was like, fuck it. I'm going to have all our fights on an island.
Mortal Kombat.
So we can I'm like, oh, so you're literally doing Enter the Dragon now. Like you're just having an island martial arts tournament.
Dude, yeah. And like watching old school UFC too, just like for some background for the audience. Like if you ever go back and watch like old fights, there are literally no rules. Like don't jab in the eye and hit the nuts, but everything else is fun. Like they're elbowing people in the top of their head until their soft baby shit brains are bashing against their skull.
Yeah, it was like, okay, we should have a couple rules.
Yeah, we should.
And that's why they standardize the outfits, no gis or anything to grab onto.
Which, like,
I do think that's cool though. That
it's so cool when you come out in a gi and you just fuck someone up with judo. Which judo's not a real fighting style. I'm just letting everybody know.
It's not. Why not?
It's because all it is grabs and dodges.
You don't think grappling is BJJ a real fighting style?
Yeah, because it uses like tap outs and stuff like that. It's like just like
it uses submissions and stuff. Okay.
Yeah. No, everybody makes fun of fucking judo. It's
That
funny.
is true. Well, Casher is clearly the martial arts expert for the amount of Jean-Claude Van Damme films he's seen.
I get drunk
Also,
a
I
lot
love
and
that you're
watch
wearing a
UFC.
Budweiser shirt for this. It's like you went
I-
full,
Okay.
you went full white trash for the Jean-Claude Van Damme episode.
Now there's
And we
like
all appreciate it.
there's several long montages in this movie that's just extended sequences of people fighting, which I'm cool with. You know, that's what you signed up for. But honestly, I thought about this. This is like the most impressive part of the film because when you think about it, they have to safely choreograph like 20 different people doing 20 different styles of fighting. Like that would actually fucking take a while.
I'll be honest with you. I think Dukes actually helped with the choreography on this film, and he's done a
He did
lot
help
of
make this
things.
film.
Like he helped with like the choreography for sure, and then like he's been pretty prominent in a lot of martial arts
That
films.
guy's only
Even
in his
though
60s. I thought he'd be older or
if
dead.
he's got a book out or a book or a movie called "Put Up Your Dukes," and
Yeah.
I am determined to get it at some point.
Well, the question I have is at the beginning, how long was he actually training with the guy? Because like
Fucking one
surely the
week.
authorities would have been looking for him before now. Because when they show up, the wife says, "Oh, he came to pay his respects 2 days ago." But how long did it take them to figure out that they needed to go there in the first place? Because
What do you I think he had trained all of his teen years, and Van Damme's 28 in this movie, so I'm going to assume his character is about that age. So, I mean, he's been training, let's say, 10 to 15 years. And I think he joined the military because he's a naturalized U.S. citizen or whatever. And he's in whatever special forces. I don't think they really say. And they just know that he has a martial arts background. And they just know that he's going to this tournament to potentially get fucked up. And he's too much of a good asset to come back in a wheelchair. But I think
I know, but like he leaves the military and then goes to like train with the guy.
Well, he goes to pay respect for Shingo,
I know,
which
but
is
like
I don't know why they named him Shingo. That's like the fucking monkey in the Speed Racer's name. It's just like, God damn it, dude, pick a fucking better name. But he goes to pay respects, and
yeah,
then he's
better
like,
name
well,
like Chong Li. Sorry,
yeah,
go on.
Dong Li is an essential Chinese name, even though he's Japanese. No, and he goes there, and he's like, oh, well, here's my chance to finally get that fucking katana. And he's like, train me for the Kumite.
yeah.
And so that's why, like, when he gets there, they're like, no, Round Eye can be part of the Tanaka clan.
I'm gonna
I know,
start
just
calling
like
Round
him
Eye,
that. I'm
Round
gonna
Eye
start
is a
going up to people
great
like, yo,
racial
what's up,
slur.
my round eye? What's up?
I would love to bring that back.
What's up, my
Yeah.
R words? What's up, dude?
Round Eye is top 3 racial slur for me. I like it.
What are the other two?
Um,
Um,
not the N word.
Okay.
yeah, that was too passe. Um, the well, I don't know. It just felt like he trained for like a week or something, and he's like, "I'm good to go." Maybe he did. Who knows?
That's the whole point of no, he was training throughout his whole teen years and
I
stuff.
I think he was training to learn the Dim which is like the Tanaka clan special move that wasn't taught to him. And then he has to prove that he's part of the Tanaka clan, has to do that, which is so cool. Where he's like, pick a brick, and they're like, top brick, and he's like, no, do the bottom, and he's like, like readjusts himself, opens his eyes even wider, and then punches only that brick.
Yeah.
That shit's fucking so sick.
I wonder if
When
there's
he breaks
any.
the brick, I'm like, okay, yeah, we're in
That's
it.
pretty cool. It's I wonder if there's any physics behind it at all. I wonder if
Dim
that's-
is an actual thing, apparently. I'm
It
looking
is?
at there's a Wikipedia page on the Dim
Oh, so you know it's true.
Hey, you never know. And
No,
the Naruto series.
I trust. I trust the. Wikipedia.
It does say it was brought in. Suggested the death of Bruce Lee in 1973 might have been caused by a delayed reaction to a dim mak strike.
Wow.
I hear so many things about how Bruce Lee might have died.
I'm pretty sure it was just food poisoning.
He was on a juice diet or something,
I'm pretty
and then
sure.
trying to do all that like really intense exercise. It's like, well, there's part of your problem.
They talk about being like Wing Chun, the shit that Bruce Lee like
And Ip
originated.
Man.
Yeah, like made popular. That dim mak is one of the special techniques. Which
Yeah.
like I'm so glad that like We're in the world of special techniques here on the Kino podcast.
Yeah, because this is an anime movie.
Dude, I fucking love
Well, I
special.
like that. Like, what's the name of that scrawny Asian guy who like walks around with them?
The one who's like obviously just like there to be the little comedic influence.
Yeah,
they
he's
have.
there to be like kind of like the. I guess the 80s were that uncultured that they needed this like almost representative of Asians to walk around with
His
them.
name's Victor Lin.
Because he's
Yeah,
like,
and he
he's
has like a mullet and is like, it's like he watched too many American movies and was like, yeah, I'll help out the North Americans.
yeah,
I'll show you. I'll show you where it is for.
yeah.
guys.
He's like telling them like how telling them about Hong Kong and then how beautiful Asian people are and shit. I'm like, what do you?
and then of course we have to have the military aspect of Captain Chen wearing like traditional communist military garb in Hong Kong.
Right. So this. I mean, we're still in the Cold War here toward the end of it.
Very
Gorbachev.
end.
Yeah, the very end of it. But it is this weird thing. This movie does make me weirdly nostalgic for a place I've never been, which is 80s Hong Kong.
Yeah.
Just because Hong Kong action movies are some of the best of all time.
See, I'm
if
into
you've
the
only
more-
if you've only seen Jackie Chan's American work, you're scratching the surface of his talent as
Oh,
a
yeah,
filmmaker
absolutely.
and as a actor and martial artist.
I would say my favorite generation of Hong Kong is 1940s World War II Hong Kong. Shout out Empire of the Sun.
Okay.
No, but like
Um,
you saying that, Scott, I was thinking the same thing because when he's showing them around and talking about Hong Kong and stuff, it kind of reminded me of that film we watched at Epcot, The Reflections of China.
Yes. There's this. So if you don't know, there's this very outdated, like charmingly outdated movie, Reflections of China. of
Circle
this-
Vision 3D. It's a 360. They shot with like 12 different films in a circle, so you can like look
That's been
around.
there for a
No,
long
it's like I'm
time.
watching 3 TikTok compilations at once and getting overstimulated, but it's a documentary instead of like, I don't know, people
Lots
dancing.
of pan flutes and
And there's a lot of pan flutes. It's a clearly American, Californian, Asian American actor doing like, I am Lo Pan of not Lo Pan, but like that's a different movie.
Welcome
I'm some
to
Ting
Reflections
Wong.
of China.
Like it's seriously, it's like that level of acting.
We're gonna get in trouble
And
for
he's
this
like,
podcast.
No, we're pointing out racism.
I
We're
know.
not. We're pointing out dated things. We're not.
and
And then he's like, Shanghai, the gateway to the east, and it tries to paint it as a modern city, but it's all like 80s cars and stuff because it's an
Yeah.
outdated film. But that's like weirdly charming, and it's the same stuff in here. I'm seeing all these 80s cars. I also legitimately, I really wish I could have gone to Hong Kong when it was before it got all CCP'd, you know.
Oh,
No,
you mean when it was
legit, I'm not
colonized?
even joking. Like I wish
I
when
know.
it was still democratic, you know.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
Like I said, I have those thoughts about 1940s where there's like a bunch of poor
Wait,
immigrant
but-
people
wait,
like
but
selling
before
ducks
Israel
on
was
the
a
street.
state? Or-
Yeah, yeah.
before Israel was
Implying that Israel is a state now.
at full power.
Free Palestine.
Okay, we're not getting back into that one. Yeah. You're saying we're gonna get canceled for this. You've ended a podcast with "fuck Israel" before, so I think
Yeah.
I'm good. I'm fine.
Sorry. The based one out of this trio is back, baby.
I don't know.
I didn't say nothing against what you said. But yeah, it's just like that guy, that character just feels like he's like, I'm Asian's #1 fucking, representative. And I'm gonna tell. Also, he's like telling them like while they're watching the Kumite, he's like explaining the rules. I'm like, don't you think these guys already understand what
The
this
rules
is?
are there's hardly any rules either.
I wish he would have been like, the only rule we have is there are no rules.
Yeah, you might as well. Because there's points where they knock a character down, and I don't know if they're allowed to strike when they're on the ground. Because we see them do that sometimes. But then
Chong Li
other
does
times
that
they-
every match. He literally goes down and just like,
Yeah, but nobody else does that. But it's like, shouldn't you all be doing that? That's what gets Ray Jackson's ass kicked. Is he doesn't do the double tap.
what's because
And then
Ray
they act
Jackson
like it's disgraceful, and they all turn his backs on him. But apparently, it's legal to kill people. And so I don't know. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Anyway, and this is all set. I want to say in Kowloon Walled City. If you don't know what Kowloon Walled City is, it is now destroyed because it was a shanty town of shanty towns all cobbled together. So imagine like a favela in Rio de Janeiro or whatever, but like 5 times as dense in Hong Kong in the 80s with wires hanging everywhere, nothing up to code. Everything's a fire code violation.
Yeah.
And it's so cramped and dystopian that it kind of invented the cyberpunk genre. Like, our concept of a cyberpunk city is not only based on 80s Hong Kong, it is based on Kowloon Walled City, this one essentially neighborhood or borough, I don't know what you would call it, which is where this is set. Even though we don't really see it much, we just see him in the gym. But
Bet they have really good opium there.
I mean, yeah, there were probably a lot of drugs, I'm sure.
Man, they needed a scene of like naked Jean-Claude Van Damme with just a blanket draped over him, fucking strung out on opium. He's been there.
Yeah,
for 3
well, that
days.
would be a documentary.
I don't know
I'm
what
pretty
this
sure he
guy's-
got into coke. Although I also heard that from Joe Rogan. So
Who
I don't
doesn't
know.
get into coke? Dude?
That's true.
Damn.
Ogre. Well, I don't even know his name. I'll just call him Ogre, I guess.
It's Ogre. Dude. There's
I
Donald
like,
Gibb will never be known as anything
Ray
but Ogre.
Jackson.
Ogre. I think I like that Ogre because at first I think that he's gonna be some prick to Jean-Claude Van Damme's character or something. No, he's just a big guy. Like he's glad to have an American friend. I like that aspect of the movie, and I also like he's going down there. He's like, I'm gonna show you how it's done, and then you think, oh, he's gonna underestimate the smaller guy and get his ass kicked, but it actually subverts that, and he's like, no, I'm gonna knock the fuck out of this
He
guy.
beats the dog
It's so-
shit out of him.
He's so stupid because he has no discernible fighting style. He's that guy who was always big and never had to work out.
Well,
Yeah.
there's also that Chinese guy that is the same thing who just bear hugs people to death. Like,
Yeah,
I think,
but this guy has like wrestler energy after it. He's like,
he's
No,
definitely like
this is
Andre the
full
Giant,
on.
fucking Bam Bam Bigelow type, fucking like,
Yeah, wait, this is full on like Hulk Hogan era WWE.
fucking Brutus.
Yeah,
Yeah,
don't
that
tell
shit's
us what to
fucking tight.
do. Sort of.
I wanted him to crush a beer after beating that first guy so bad,
Yeah, well, he crushes a brick against his head at one point, which is basically
Yeah.
the same thing.
which is cool.
He's
I also
drinking
like the
beer at
detail
all
of-
points of this.
I like the detail of that guy who cleans the blood, taking that gold tooth out of the guy's mouth. It's so greasy. And he like bites it to make sure it's real.
Yeah, that's the part. You saw it fall out of his mouth.
Yeah.
You have to do it now. You have to fight. Yeah, which again, the movie could exist without that, but it adds to it. And this movie's, is it even 90 minutes?
89 minutes exactly.
80. It's without credits, 89 minutes, and then so they needed to cram any bit of story they could into this.
I think
That's why they have the
is just
feds
fights
chasing him
along the
around.
way. Yeah, dude, Forrest Whitaker with his slant, like his fucking lazy eye to the max in this movie.
No, he's not a slant eye. He's a round eye.
He's this is
Oh,
before he started overacting.
It's true, dude. Forrest Whitaker is the best actor who just shows up in the most dog shit roles. And then sometimes you'll see him and you're like, wait, that was great. Why are you Saul
No, I
Guerrero?
like Forrest Whitaker. It's just like ever since that bizarre performance in Rogue One, I'm like, what is this?
I mean, but that goes back to Battlefield Earth and he was in that. Is he a
Yeah.
Scientologist? Probably.
Dude, I forget he's in Rogue One because that character is so fucking good. In like Clone Wars. Like,
Yeah, I was about to say, not in
not,
Rogue One, he's
not in Rogue One. He's so good in fucking Clone Wars and Rebels.
Yeah.
What
I was
I
hoping
saying?
he would talk like that in this. He would be like, Dukes, we need you back in the army.
I was hoping he'd talk like Idi Amin, like he was in The Last King of Scotland.
Oh yeah, I need to see that.
Fucking fire. Good movie.
Yeah, it's good.
I was like,
That's
okay,
another
we're
we
gonna have
follow a white guy into a non-European culture.
yeah, but he's not saving it. He's just
No,
exploiting.
he's a journalist.
It's like, well, I guess they don't want real escalation, but it's like, why wouldn't these guys just have guns? Why are they always just threatening with tasers?
They have like comedic cartoon tasers too. They're
Yeah.
like fucking massive. Oh, you want 50,000 volts?
It looks like an 80s cell phone swallowed like a scanner at a supermarket. Like you could just check out. It looks like with we pick up at Costco to scan your box of protein bars or whatever.
They literally remind me of like the fucking henchman in like a cartoon.
Yeah, it is very cartoonish.
It's very
Especially
like,
towards the end, he's like, they're like, you can't fight, and then he like just deflects their shots, and then it hits those other two guys that walk up like fucking Looney Tunes, and they're like, "Well, okay, I guess you win." And it's
It's,
like,
yeah,
what do you
because they're like,
mean?
well, we can't kick your ass.
Dude,
Clearly.
I was expecting the smaller white one to smack on top of the head of Forrest Whitaker and been like, "Come on, man!"
They do have a little bit of that. You can tell the older one, he's just more seasoned, so he knows how to do this more. And they don't have guns because they don't want to shoot the guy. He's a military asset. That's the
Yeah,
whole.
and
They don't want him to get hurt. That's why they're trying to incapacitate him and take him.
It's
Home.
just like the
Plus-
way they talk about him, like, and his involvement with the military. They act like he's like a Captain America, like a super soldier or something.
It's
like
kind of
he's a
what you
secret
kind of
weapon.
like come from that, dude. Franklin Dukes was a super soldier.
Yeah, well, okay.
For all we know.
For all we know,
There's a whole book called Stolen
Franklin
Valor
Dukes,
about
was
him.
he also writing in the book like, I went to the Kumite and then I beat him at karate for the NES
It's not even a book. It's an article in Black Belt magazine that this is based off of.
Oh, and there's also which even that author was like, I should have fact checked that.
Yeah,
guy.
dude.
I just
There's a whole book about him called Stolen Valor.
It's not just him, but the origin of the phrase "stolen valor." That book includes Frank Dukes as a main subject.
It's
Frank
fucking
Dukes
crazy.
in the phrase "stolen valor."
What the fuck are you talking about, dude?
From the
Frank
same
Dukes,
text.
he was sent in to end the war in Vietnam, dude. That's why it's over.
He's
what he said.
essentially Dr. Manhattan.
Yeah.
We won the Vietnam War because of him.
Yeah, we have God on our side, guys.
Well, that's what he acts like. He acts like it's like he even would flip flop Frank Dukes. He'd be like, "Yeah, it was Southeast Asia," and then you're like, "No, it was Vietnam." And then he's like, "Well, I didn't say it was Vietnam. I said it was Southeast Asia," which could be.
He's like
dude,
that
which is
fucking.
hilarious.
I mean,
Frank-
he's Frank Dukes probably went to bang Thai hookers for a week and then was like, "I ended the wars in Southeast Asia, guys, with my
he's
love,
like,
with my clearly 9-inch dog."
I feel like some of our dads have that one weird ass friend you meet occasionally who just
Yep.
likes to make up bullshit and
Well,
go along with it.
it's not really made up, but rest in peace, Billy. We used to have some crazy stories from my dad's best friend, Billy. This guy would keep a rattlesnake in his fucking freezer, like a frozen like rattlesnake he caught, and he would just like throw it on the kids when they get here. It used to terrify me going to his fucking little trailer.
Was it alive?
No, it was dead. It was frozen. Like,
Okay.
It was frozen
I
solid.
wonder, did he freeze it alive then like woke up? I don't know.
I think he killed it and then positioned it how he wanted to, and then fucking stuck it in there. This guy died of like alcoholism.
Yeah. I will say Dukes was the choreographer for this and Lionheart and Only the Strong, which are all or the first two are Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
My dad, what?
What do you think of the fight choreography in this? Because you think it's very impressive, but there are times where it looks very movie-ish.
I have something to tell you about this, Scott. It's actually a movie.
Oh fuck! Right. Well, I think that's one of the ideal for fight scenes is to get people who can really fight, and then instead of doing a bunch of knockoff Bourne Ultimatum quick cutting, you actually let them fight and do out the moves. But the problem with that is when you want to stylize the fighting, when they're like rolling under somebody's legs or something, it's going to come off as fake. So it's that question of like, so how stylized does it have to get where you have to reflect that in the cinematography in order to keep the illusion up? Or
It
do you
doesn't
just
bother
not,
me.
or do you just not care because you're watching Bloodsport with Jean-Claude?
Yeah, like this movie, like I appreciate that it has a blend of medium to long shots of them fighting, and then certain sequences they get up close and stuff, and they do some fun slow-mo. I think it's a clever mix, and like I said, for the amount of different styles of fighting they're having to incorporate, I think they did a competent job.
Styles of fighting, like the monkey combat.
Some of these are just made up. They just made
I mean,
took a
still,
black
though,
guy and told him
they
to
all
add
have their own
faces.
thing.
But then you also have like you can see like the clear inspiration that Street Fighter took from this movie. With, like you've got fucking Sagat, or what's his name? His name's Paco in this movie, the Spanish Muay Thai fighter. And then you've like got just like random shit. You basically have E Honda in this as the sumo wrestler.
And then you have Barlog, who's based off Forrest Whitaker because they're black.
Yeah, he was supposed to be called M. Bison. Did you guys know that? And then they switched the names for some stupid fucking reason. Let's not name the boxer Mike Bison. Let's name the Soviet superpower or kinetic fucking Mike Bison, and let's name him
His name's
Balrog.
Mike. The M stands for Mike.
Yeah, dude, it's Mike Bison.
It's Mike Bison. Why
Yeah.
did I not know that? Oh my
Yeah, it was
god.
directly based off of Mike Tyson, and they switched it for some reason.
God, if Street Fighter had fatalities, he'd be like biting people's ears off and shit. That's awesome.
Dude, fucking, we're crying.
Okay, it
about
actually
our
does
stuff.
make sense that they changed the name for those two characters. This is now a Street Fighter 2 cast, but
When the feds are chasing him through Hong Kong, I like the tone that he's fucking with them. It's playful, but I do wonder for some of those shots, like, did they actually get permits or did they just set up some cameras real quick and get some shots in some busy areas where there's a lot of people? Because
I easily could be the second one because this is a low.
That's what I was thinking.
And it's like to quickly set up a camera, do those shots, which were probably like first take or second take, you know, and like, all right, let's get out of here before somebody stops us. Which because those do seem very like slapstick. He obviously can literally run circles around these guys, just fucking with them. And that's another one of like, yeah, we need this scene of them chasing him almost with the yakety sax music in the background.
Yeah,
I mean, it's that level of energy.
Or like Scooby Doo walking through different doors and popping out on the other side.
They should have just done that. That's what would have brought this movie up to a 10.
That would have been sick.
Yeah. He walks out a door and he accidentally runs into the Street Fighter version of himself. It's like, what are you doing here? What are you mean?
Rumble to make skirmish. Yeah. When he does it clicked with me when he finally does the splits and the ball hit or whatever. It was like, okay, yeah, this was in my consciousness somewhere. I knew of this scene in this shot. It was like, okay.
If you didn't know that shot, you know of the Johnny Cage move. The Johnny Cage move is fucking timeless.
Like, yeah, I didn't know that it was based on this movie. Although when I saw that shot, I had the same reaction, Adrian. So I guess I put 2 and 2 together.
Yeah, it's the fucking, it's iconic. Like,
right. And this totally real Kumite. Even that sounds like a made up name.
I don't like you sitting here saying it's made up, dude.
Yeah, nobody else has confirmed this Kumite from 4 years.
No proof that didn't happen. Okay.
All right. Jean-Claude Van Damme, no proof he didn't build the pyramids. I'm just saying.
There's no proof that
he didn't build the pyramids. He got one giant piece of fucking
rock and then punched it
and like fucking carved
and
it
all
with
the
his
bricks
hands,
fell perfectly in place into a pyramid.
He did the dim mock and it just broke it into the pyramids.
There's no proof that I won Mario Party last time I played, and some say that the computer player Waluigi won, but you know, who's to say? Really, I won. But
I also like there's no weight classes in this Kumite. I also noticed very quickly.
So old school UFC didn't have weight classes either. So you have this
shit.
There's fights where you have guys that are 400 fucking pounds fighting like a 180 pound person. Well, they get the to be honest with you, the 400 pounders like this big, fat, like big dude, and he just gets there and he gets like his front teeth knocked out. But
so who that fight you're thinking of? Who won?
The little guy.
The little guy did win. Okay.
He fucking knocked. The guy ran up and he went, oh, and just like shattered his teeth because they weren't wearing fucking mouth guards or anything.
It's like, okay, no rules doesn't mean you can't wear fucking mouth guards.
Well, it's like they really didn't want you wearing any kind of gear because it's supposed to be
but like you don't want to bite your tongue off either.
Dude, I don't think they gave a fuck. It's a different breed, dude. We're soft now.
Yeah,
I compared to early MMA fighters. Yeah,
you better pull yourself up by your bootstraps, dude.
No, I don't want to fight UFC. I've thought of taking a BJ. I can't afford it right now. I thought of taking a BJJ class or something because I'm in my 30s and I've never been in a fight
class.
Yeah, imagine this episode cuts to a shot of Scott tied with ropes on all legs and arms, like.
Yeah, dude, shooting hot ropes of cum.
Okay, well.
My roommate, he used to go to a fighting gym, and he said with striking, he would be in the parking lot, be like, wait, am I going into the gym or coming out? Oh, I'm sweaty. I must be coming out. This is not good for my brain. I was like, yeah, I'm never going to do it. I'm not doing that. I'll just never learn how to strike if that's what happens.
That's fucked.
Weird.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, I got to stop.
What the fuck was that powder that gets blown in his face so he starts like almost like hallucinating or something?
I bet it's that fucking crazy powder that like makes people forget shit and then you get robbed. Or it's just a lot of
It's
fucking
Are you talking
PCP.
about roofies? What are you
No,
talking about?
forget me nows.
there's a powder. They call it like dragon's breath. There's legitimate drug guys. I know a lot
Oh,
about
okay.
drugs.
Actually, I have heard of them.
It's what they use it in like South American countries where like you'll get ran up on and they'll just go, and as soon as it like hits your face and you inhale any of it, you lose like a shit ton of your like short-term memory.
Oh yeah, is it like a
That's scary.
pepper?
No,
Oh, it's not. Okay.
no, it's like a it's I can't remember. It's a hallucinogen too. I bet he got like opium or fucking like I don't know some ancient Chinese
It's like
rhino blood drug.
it's like that scene in This Is the End where McLovin fucking blows
But
that
I've
fucking
never
coke.
done cocaine. Well, this is the best shit possible, baby.
Well, I was like, is he blind or is he hallucinating or is he how impaired is he? It's
I
kind
think
of
he
hard to
was
tell
like
for a little bit.
blinded. That's what it felt because then he was like having to listen and then
Yeah.
feel up
I,
the
I don't know why he
referee.
just didn't shut his eyes.
Well, because it doesn't look as cool. It looks fucking insane when he's like,
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, he looks fun. You gotta wonder what the audience is thinking when he's like stepping back and like listening. He looks
And
touching the
there's so
satin
many
robes of the referee.
and
Like,
most of this entire scene from this point on is shot in slow-mo. So you're just seeing slow-mo facial contortions of Van Damme acting his ass off. Just like
which is probably gonna be the thumbnail.
"Ugh."
Yeah.
The sorry, I was trying to just be crazy round eye. I wasn't trying to
Yeah, I know.
be anything else.
trying
No,
to keep
it's just they geeked him. I'm pretty sure it was actually cocaine and he was method acting.
Oh,
I don't know.
man.
It was crazy. No, but I do like it's the stuff you see coming. Like Ogre's gonna get the shit beat out of him, and then he's gonna have to be like, "Fuck you! Now I'm gonna kick your ass," kind of thing. And I think the the fact that we haven't even talked about the love interest this whole time.
Janice is the most worthless,
speaks for
pointless fucking
itself.
character.
Yeah,
It's
she
you
kinda
can remove Janice completely. Even her
Kinda.
name.
Yeah,
Well,
but then
she's
our
the one
hero
who-
doesn't get laid, dude.
Yeah, but
She's
she's
important.
actually worried enough about him to betray him and call the feds on him so that he won't be able to fight. So
Yeah, but then he does anyway.
yeah, I know.
So
Yeah,
it's
this
just
is a-
it's killing time.
I know.
It
This
has
is
no
a real
effect on the
Frank
plot.
Dukes. He would have went over there and slapped the shit out of him for doing that, dude. Frank Dukes just kind of looks like a domestic abuser, allegedly. You know, it's not get sued.
That's the only allegation I would believe of Frank Dux, to be honest. Like,
I assume this movie did numbers on cable because it feels like one of those movies, a cable classic, as I call it, where it's a lazy Saturday afternoon. You're a kid, there's nothing going on, your parents are busy, so you're just channel surfing. You come across this, and you're 13, and some of the coolest shit you've ever seen.
You know
that's
what
the
channel
thing.
it was on? You want to know what channel it was on?
TNT,
What?
USA.
Oh,
USA.
okay, yeah,
of
I remember
course.
watching this on USA and then watching fucking like Walker, Texas Ranger.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
close. Here's the thing. I watched this on Tubi, and I actually wrote down Tubi ads help because it feels like I'm watching this on TNT. It added to the movie
Yeah,
because
sure.
it felt like I was watching it on cable.
Dude,
And
I watched
that's
a
the
lot of
thing.
Van Damme films on USA. USA
We've-
had a lit lineup.
We've talked about this before, but like there are plenty of movies that just came up on cable every now and then and you would just watch it because it was on and there was nothing else on other channels. And it was easy to discover stuff when we were younger, just like throw this on because it's low stakes. You're just, you might be doing something else, but like I'll just keep it on this channel. There's no experience like that today, and I feel like there's plenty of movies that would have done numbers on cable, would have had a second chance. There's plenty of movies like what's that movie called?
Shawshank?
Yeah, that like have become some of the most popular movies of all time, cherished movies, because they had a second life on cable. And I
Yeah,
think
that
about
movie
that.
is the top rated on IMDb because of
I think
Right.
about like kids now, if they want to watch a movie, they have to seek it out specifically. They don't just come across it.
or you'll have
Yeah.
a recommendation, but even the recommendation engine.
You still have to click on it,
and
they're like,
do you feel like recommendations in general have gotten shittier over the years?
Bro,
Yeah.
it's annoying, especially like
For
on-
Spotify as well, not just
it's
for
bad
movies.
on Spotify because then I just get these like I don't want to listen to this stupid bullshit Like, give me music that's similar to what I'm listening to.
It
but don't
makes
make
me
it
judge
offensive.
myself. I'm like, if the machine thinks I'm this stupid, then maybe I am. For
Yeah, just because I'm listening to fucking Sabrina Carpenter all the time doesn't mean I want to listen to fucking Miley Cyrus.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It is that thing of like you listen to one song just to check it out, and then you get all those recommendations. You're like, God
Well,
damn.
That's funny that
it's
you
like the most
said that.
surface level recommendations, though. That's the big thing. Like, it's
Because it
not
can't
going
really
deeper.
know you.
Well, exactly. It's like it's going to these recommendations. It's going, oh, white girl who makes pop music. Let's do this.
And you're
It's
like,
not going to
okay,
like
but Miley Cyrus isn't
I'm
hot.
not going to go into the intricacies of Sabrina Carpenter's new album, but it's there's more than the surface level of she's hot. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Also,
funny you
she's
said that because literally yesterday, I specifically on YouTube on my TV, I put it on Parker's YouTube and then played Sabrina Carpenter because I didn't want it to affect my YouTube algorithm.
that's funny.
Because I'm just I have a
I
really
I
good
will I
algorithm.
will look up things in private mode just so they don't affect my algorithm. Any Joe Rogan video I open in a private tab so it doesn't fuck up my algorithm. The algorithm's weird, dude, because I'll get, and maybe this reflects on me, but I was looking up videos when I had a better, like a real job that I sucked at. It was like how to focus at work, and I was looking up these like how to focus videos when I should be working, and then all of a sudden I got all these videos of like stop masturbating so you can focus. I'm
I
like,
was just
hold
saying
on.
you got the Fresh and Fit
Oh,
podcast on
no.
there after that, and like,
Dude, I'll get ads that are like struggling with depression. I'm like, how do you stop?
and
Why
then
do you
like
know
Nick,
this?
you got that
Isn't that
focusing at
obvious?
work thing, and Nick Fuentes comes up, and he's just like, the reason why you can't focus at work is because of the immigrants. And you're just on that rabbit hole.
No, like I clicked on a few weeks ago when it was around 9/11 and people start bringing that up again. I clicked on a few on Twitter and looked at some of the comments and stuff and was reading about different things and like I noticed that after I did that I started getting some weird right-wing conspiracy shit on my timeline. I was like, where did this come from? I have to
It came from Elon Musk using Twitter as a political tool and trying to get Trump to win the next election so he can get
Yeah.
tax breaks.
Trump's
Even though that administration is hostile to renewable energy.
I got to pee
I
real
was
quick.
just
Be right
like,
back.
whoa. And like, I feel like on Twitter lately, especially Elon's Twitter, like when I click, I'm not interested in this, it doesn't really affect my timeline that
It
much.
doesn't care. Because it knows you're still engaging. Even if it's negative engagement, it's still engagement.
Like, I am someone who's sensitive to violence, like real violence, not in movies really anymore, but like, so whenever like body cam videos come up that I might find disturbing, I always exit out and I click I'm not interested, and they keep popping up, and I'm like, where do these come from?
There's a lot of body cam footage. And where are they coming from? Inner Philadelphia, mostly. Dude, my buddy JP, shout out JP Ford. He's a comic, but he's also an editor for the local news, and he has to edit like raw war footage from Kiev in Gaza and shit. Like as his job.
No,
I
he
wouldn't
doesn't.
last an hour doing that.
That war is fake. It's a proxy war.
Yeah, well, he helps make it look real. Like
AI.
which is weird because he's one of the most chill dudes I know. But I'm like, Harry, yeah.
He just doesn't sleep at night. He's just like crying every night before.
He doesn't sleep. He doesn't sleep. I was like, what is your sleep schedule? He's like, I don't know. I don't have one. I work at 3 a.m. It's like I work news hour. Like
I feel that, dude. I have to wake up at 4 to work.
yeah.
I go to bed at 4 after working.
Yeah. I'm closer to that. But I'm a nocturnal anyway. One of the nice things about Tubi, and I promise this isn't an ad for Tubi for them to get my comedy special on there. But like it actually is kind of good for browsing because it's so much weird shit, like weird martial arts movies from the 90s I've never heard of. Some of I have, of course, but like some of them are just like, here's this random like Australian Hong Kong production of some movie you've never heard of, and there's no other streaming service that'll give you something like that. I do appreciate the lower tier, the Freevee and the Tubies of stuff, just for having that sort of stuff. Or even like having old stand-up HBO specials of like Robert Klein and stuff. Just because like part of my, and it has been for years and years, part of my criticism of things like Netflix is like, try finding anything from the previous century on Netflix. Like, it's tough. And I guess the research shows that people don't want to watch that as much, but also, with
it's an issue of film preservation.
HBO Max has a really stellar old
That's true.
school
Yeah,
films.
HBO Max has some good stuff.
They've got a lot of really good, like, older kung fu films too. There was a point during COVID where discretion, I hope my mom's not listening, but I was eating acid a lot and watching a ton of old kung fu movies. And fucking Tubi and Freevee and HBO were
And what insight did acid get you from those movies, Round Eye?
it just made me really horny.
Okay, Jean-Claude Van Damme does that to me as well.
No, dude,
I was
I
talking
would just
about
be like chain
journalistic
smoking in
ethics.
my apartment, fucking watching shit.
I was talking about journalistic ethics of him being like, "I'll do your interview, but if we get dinner," I'm like, "Okay, well, you got to buy your own dinner at that point, or else it's."
Oh, dude.
But then she bangs him, and I'm like, "Okay, unethical." But I will say it again, Jean-Claude Van Damme. You see the side of his glutes in this; it's the best ass in cinema. I'm not even joking. It's the best ass I've ever seen. It's sculpted to perfection. And it almost makes me want to do squats. Not really, because that's effort, but it almost makes me want to.
I will say this: her journalistic, ethic code is my code of ethics for selling what I sell now. I've 100% been like, "Hey, how you guys doing? You guys want lunch?" And then ordered lunch for the office, and then gotten sales like that. Like,
Ordered lunch
office.
for their office, and you
Yeah.
get sales like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
You're
people
expecting
are,
her to like what? Be polite to get into this secret fucking fight organization that
Also, what is her? She doesn't even write a story. We don't like all
Doesn't
she
matter.
does. She goes in there and she watches, and she's horrified that people are getting beat up, and it's like, okay, that's it.
I could have told you about this and save you the time.
I mean, yeah, like you knew this was happening. I mean, it's good that you get to actually see it, but at the same time, it's
Maybe she wrote the article for that Black Belt magazine. Who
Man,
knows?
I'm gonna let you guys know if I ever become as rich as Mr. Beast, I'm making my own Kumite.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Beast with his crappy reality show pretty much did make a real Kumite with how many people were like,
Yeah, but it's not
getting
gonna be
sick.
it's not gonna be televised at all. It's gonna be like secret. You have to know. You're invited. You can die. Like it's gonna be cool.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
You're gonna hear about like
could
John
die.
Cena fighting in the Kumite and dying, and it's gonna be like a national news.
Why would John Cena want to be involved?
He's the greatest fighter America has to offer.
Yeah, and the greatest fighter China has to offer as well.
Being chilling.
His entire the entire American side that have come to watch him is like 50 Make-A-Wish Down syndrome kids.
There is this thing. I am glad we've gotten to the point where I feel like we've gotten more to the point where if we have a movie, an American movie about another country, like we don't always have to have the follow a white guy into their world narrative. I feel like we still kind of have that.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
You kind of like it. I mean, I
like
get it because I mean, you can relate. This is so crazy. So another martial arts masterpiece that Adrian and I watched recently in the theaters was The Matrix OG. Zero fat on this movie.
Man, I was gonna say that has like still some of the best special effects.
Yeah, no, it's
that shit looks fucking rad.
But it weirdly made me think of Neo and Dukes kind of have a similar role as audience surrogate in this. And you find it in a lot of movies, it's in like Dances with Wolves and everything. But of like you're going into this other world, so you need to glom onto this fish out of water character that the audience can relate to, kind of as a blank slate, as they take you into this new world. Only one of those worlds is fictional. One of them is just Hong Kong, but it's the 80s, so people
Hogwarts.
don't.
Yeah,
Hogwarts?
this is super off
Yeah,
topic,
no,
but
Harry's
kind of
sort of
thing.
a blank slate a little bit, especially in the earlier books, because
Doesn't know anything about magic. Same kind of
yeah,
thing.
exactly. It's the same thing. It like brings you along, and we just have
Asians
that
and
same
magic go
character trope.
together.
I went to a Matrix themed birthday party last weekend and didn't realize it was Matrix themed till last minute. So I was just wearing regular clothes while everybody's wearing leather.
Is this
and, like,
real or is this a joke?
This is real. It was badass.
Well, how old was the person having the birthday?
Like 30.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we went and we were the only ones there, so I had to tell everybody like that didn't dress up really. And I was like, "Oh no, we stayed in the Matrix. We were fine with it."
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
but
dressed
no.
as Cypher from the scene when he's eating steak. And you're just eating steak.
Yeah. But they had like someone set up like this, like the green, the fucking
Code.
the code on like a screen outside, and we had two of the DJs dressed up as like white rabbits. Fucking, it was in the backyard of someone's house. It was badass. Off topic, but I thought it was really cool.
No, that sounds pretty great. We should have a Bloodsport themed birthday party
Where I
next
just watch all
time.
my friends fucking kill each other.
Yeah,
I'm
where we watch
so
my
down.
friends kill each other.
If I could be one of the two Black Dragon judges and not have to fight and then watch or if I could be Victor Lin, in it, I'm in it to win. I'm gonna wear a mullet and have a really bad accent.
I mean,
When
in the
you
original
just
cut of Moon Men, we almost have that. We have that redneck fight in the backyard. That's not in the director's cut, but like it's just like
Fuck,
we're
dude,
all
I
just
want to.
standing around watching rednecks fight each other.
We have a house now. We might do a Bloodsport fucking birthday for me
don't,
next year.
yeah, okay.
Like that'd be sick. We don't have to act. I mean, we could actually fight. I mean, we got a big enough yard for it.
You do choreographs and stuff. I would
No, no
like to, and I
choreographs.
have connections to the wrestling world, kind of, sort of, not really.
I know Xander Udochi.
Okay, what does that have to do with it? Either?
He's the king of all theater combat.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Now you're just referencing guys who went to high school with for the audience.
Yeah, you guys know. Does our audience know Cody Long?
No, well, if they've seen Moon Men, they do. But
Cody's
anyway,
gonna come on. Cody wants to come on talking about the Brady Bunch movie at some point.
Like
Oh,
the spoof one, or like
Yeah.
that's a great fucking film.
no,
dude.
well, and that's a film that would be interesting to rewatch because that was very early on the meta train. Very early on the meta.
I also thought that was a real Brady Bunch movie when I was a kid.
I
thought it
remember
was
seeing
fun.
ads for it, and then I saw some of that on TV, and I was like, "This movie is not like the Brady."
It was like,
'Cause
they look different.
I never cared for the Brady Bunch TV show. My brother would watch it. I always thought it was.
I watched it a
too
little
Gay.
bit.
I don't know,
It was
it was
always-
too corny. Too
It was
simple.
gay.
It was yeah.
I was
And-
more into MASH if I'm going classic TV shows, dude.
and
MASH.
incest jokes
My mom
and
didn't
MASH.
like me watching that show.
MASH, really?
MASH?
Yeah.
Dude, MASH was a shit. Well, I also
When I
watched-
was like 8, she thought, I guess it was a little too, I don't know. It always had the PG rating, and all the other old 60s, 70s sitcoms had the G rating.
yeah, fair. Well, PG back in the 60s was full penetration.
Yeah, dude.
I was like, we were at we went to the lake a little while ago, and I was hanging out with Maddie and her dad and Harrison's 6, and I was like, yeah, we can watch Smokey and the Bandit. It's only PG. Threw Smokey and the Bandit on, and I was like, oh fuck, yeah, no, they're saying fuck.
This is old PG.
Whoops.
Well, that's the criticism of PG-13 is it kind of sanitized movies because it created this weird space where you have to fit into. But
Well,
I mean, I see
guidance-
I see old PG movies that I think should be R. You know,
Yeah, there's tits in old PG movies, dude. I used to seek that out. We had a closet full of movies, and they'd be on the top shelf. I'd be like, oh, what am I going to jerk off today?
In Big, a 13-year-old says fuck, and then another 13-year-old fucks a grown woman. So
That's
there's
realistic.
yeah, there's well,
I mean, that's why I watched 16 Candles as a 15-year-old, you know. Anyway,
It wasn't for Long Duck Dong.
I watched this because I liked watching Forrest Whitaker use 2 hands for chopsticks because he doesn't know how, which is the only bested by in 16 Candles when Long Duck Dong is using a knife and fork as chopsticks because Chinese people have never seen a fork before.
Jesus.
You're an Asian actor in LA, and it's like you finally get a role, and it's fucking Long Duck Dong, and that's all
Man.
you can get. Bobby Lee is talked about, and in arguably he's done some, not arguably, he's done some stereotypical roles, like he was Kim Jong Il for Mad TV and shit. But he was talking about he would go to auditions. He went to audition for Peter Jackson's Kong, where he had to like run away from the dinosaurs or something in some scene, and the casting director's like, can you make it more Asian? Like that's actual directors. I'm sure that was said in this movie.
Yeah,
By the way, do you
shit.
feel like Chong Li's head doesn't fit his body? Like
Chong Li's got a weird face.
he's got a weird, like boyish face, like
Yeah,
a mischievous boyish face, but it felt like it was taken off the wrong action figure
He
and put
looks-
onto a GI Joe.
Yeah, he looks better now. It looks like he took a Ken doll and put it on a G.I. Joe, like Ken face G.I. Joe. He looks better
Well, he
now.
looks
'cause
better
he's-
now because he's probably not roided out of his
He's
mind.
not. Well, I don't think he was roided back in the day. I don't think because like he's. I don't know. He's like traditional Chinese kung fu. They wouldn't do that shit.
Yeah, okay, maybe.
Like genuinely, I don't think he was. Fucking most other people there, yeah. But Chong Li now is like he looks like old school like kung fu master. He looks really good for his age, man.
Yeah, I'm sure all those guys look. I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme, he is.
Looks the same.
Yeah, he's
That's because he's eating the blood of children.
okay. I normally don't do this. I'm gonna send a photo of Bolo Yeung in the chat, and you tell me this guy's not on steroids.
I promise you, he's not. I don't think he is.
I'll do it later, and maybe I'll post it. You can post it in this video or something. I'm gonna send it to our Facebook group that we have for this.
Call in. Here's Scott's cell phone number. Call and tell him.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, looks like
Anything to get people to come to my shows.
if
I have a roast battle on the 30th. I still need to write.
you want to come and tell Scott in person that Bolo Yeung is not on steroids, or he is, or maybe you just want to suck his wiener, here is his phone number. We can set up a meeting.
Text fam guy now to 669-994. Yeah, he looks fucked in these photos.
Yeah, in these photos, he's definitely on the juice.
No, dude.
Look
No.
at him.
Juice didn't exist then.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Pretty sure he's juiced up, dude. Nobody gets neck muscles like that without juice. Like nobody.
You should see my. I'm not gonna make the joke. Never mind. Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyway,
Nope. It was rude.
I
Sorry.
think that about
So
wraps
this movie
up.
basically ends in pocket sand.
Yep.
This is the longest, most dramatic pocket sand.
This is the story of Rusty Shackelford.
I feel like after he was disgraced, that I feel like that mullet Asian, changed his identity and moved to Texas and became Dale Gribble.
No, what would be tight is if they kill off Dale Gribble in the new TV show by having him fight in the Kumite and losing.
And that's how they deal with the voice actor dying.
Jesus.
I feel like that's a very Dale way to go.
Rip Johnny Hardwick. This episode goes out to him.
Oh.
Anyway,
out, guys.
All right. Yeah.
I think
I'll
that
see
about wraps up our episode on Bloodsport.
see you guys in another 6 months.
It's good having you back. For you said this is a top 5 action movie of all time. I don't.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
It is. It's classic. I don't care what you have to say. It's objectively that good.
Okay. Subjectively that good. Chong
can I
Li's
say?
not on steroids.
Thanks for listening, everybody. If you want to support the channel, we've got links in the bio where you can do that. We have a tie-in film we made a couple years ago for fun. I've got a book for sale, coming of age story. You can get that on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. We have over 150 episodes just like this. We have video essays. We have all kinds of stuff now. So go check us out. Share this, subscribe if you
Also-
somehow haven't. If you're at the end of this episode and you're not subscribed, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, you're
But,
gay.
No, you're
Um,
awesome. Follow me, Scott K Comedy on Instagram. What are you saying, Gash?
I'm plugging my stuff, dude. I sell freight and freight needs for a company called Total Quality Logistics. If you're doing any kind of shipping, whether that's flatbeds, hot shots, vans, reefers, I got you covered. International shipping, you're your guy.
You heard it here first, folks. Thanks for listening. Next week, we're doing Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis. Look forward to that one.
Oh shit.
We'll see you next week.